I'm a country boy, yeah, that's what I love. Got that jacked up 4x4, looking for some mud. Got that hip hop in my blood, so I guess I'm just a country thug.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Saxx Talk podcast here on Saxx Says channel. This is episode number 4, and we got Jonathan Arman in the house. And we're gonna let this guy go ahead and tell this story. I just met this gentleman this evening. Really cool guy. He's actually shooting a film right now because he's trying to get a series going. So I wanna hear a little bit about that. Hey Jonathan, tell everybody what's up. Say hi.
Great to be here. I'm Jonathan. What's the topic today? Just about Wounded Healer?
Yeah, right now it's all about Wounded Healer.
I met Wayne about 3 weeks ago.
I've never seen this guy in my life.
And I have an idea, a vision. It's basically called Wounded Healer, where it's I'm an acupuncturist by profession, and I have a clinic. And during COVID, I started building robots. That was something I always wanted to do. They're not real robots that like walk and talk, but they're more sculptural or structural. Right,
and they have like a little iPad in the belly. It's more of, you were trying to do more, because you have children, right?
Well, it was an idea for a kid's show, and then I really don't like kids.
Oh, I love it.
I did not say that.
But I can't relate to them, and even when I was a parent with my 3 daughters that are growing now, they always said, you treat me like an adult, and I did. I just like adults. But I decided I wouldn't make the kids show because I wanted to talk about topics that were more important to me. And I didn't want to do like shark. What was that thing? Banana shark or something?
Oh, baby shark.
I figured I couldn't compete with that. So,
you know what I'm talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Song
a billion views.
You ever seen I'm a Barbie girl?
Yeah.
Like that. But
I don't
sharks.
sit around watching any of that kind of stuff.
I guarantee Charles will know exactly.
Well, he's got a young kid in the house.
Yeah.
If I know that stuff,
well,
there's something wrong. I'm not supposed to know that stuff. I have no young kids,
bro.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't know that either.
Yeah, things changed during COVID, and so I built. Yeah, Austin. Wayne's talking about Austin. He's a life-size robot. He's about 5'5".
That's the name of the robot?
Yeah, spelled Oustin.
Austin.
And then I kind of decided, well, I'll just have the robot be like a practitioner, and then I can like talk to him, and we can repair robots. Because I kind of think people are like robots nowadays. They're sort of just whatever they're told on CNN or Fox, they believe.
NPCs anyway, if you ask me, the majority. I think we got 85% human mankind out here, NPCs, and we got a few. I don't know your political stance. I'm assuming if you're in here with me seeing all my American flags and my Pure Blood for Life shirt, you ain't went off on me, so you must be okay with that.
I love
Absolutely.
America. Even though Lone Star is not as good as Heineken.
Exactly. It's a Texas brewed home beer. That's why y'all always see me every episode. I got my Lone Star in my hand.
Well, yeah, and I'm not Republican or Democrat or anything.
Exactly. That's what I just told him.
The truth, and that's what I really care about. I don't want this Homer Simpson thing to go on anymore because there's a disrespect of the man, and I'm just tired of it. So
what is this Homer Simpson thing you talk about? I'll be the
well, have at it, man. I mean, that's what we're here for to talk.
Let me put up my blue collar real quick.
Yeah.
What are you talking about, this Homer Simpson thing?
No, it isn't even that. It's about the demasculization of the man. Yeah, it's about the man being like knocked out of the top of the pyramid. You know, it's like a great white shark is a great white shark, and even if it eats tofu, it's still a great white shark.
Yeah.
So I believe
that... Wait, are you saying that a man could eat tofu and a woman could eat prime rib and a man could still knock that woman out?
Wayne, what is a woman?
A nurturing being, one that brings it into existence.
That's your definition of a woman?
Yes.
Oh, good Lord. Okay, I'm with you. All right. We got one that don't have a definition of a woman here.
Do you birth a child?
Bro, I just asked you a very simple question. What is a woman?
I just literally told you. It's a woman is something that can actually birth a child.
Okay. All right.
A woman.
All right. There you go.
That is
But you didn't actually say. You said loving and nurturing. Men are that too. Can be.
Okay.
But you're a woman. You have your biologics. Your biology says you're a woman. All right. Thank you.
You're gay, bro.
Absolutely.
I saw
bro, don't even put no weird shit out like that online. Motherfuckers start believing you.
I tried to find you, bro.
Go ahead.
You guys do jump cuts on this?
Is that?
Did you jump cut this?
Jump cut him. I have a scar from where you fucking knocked my ass out.
He deserved it.
He's already fucked. He's already, this is just us.
Well, yes. So I feel like the whole Homer Simpson thing, it's real. And I do think that I noticed that as a kid. Because I was like 15, I think, when Simpsons were popular. Or something.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 51.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm 46. All right.
Yeah. So as I was going through life in the late 70s, I thought things were cool. And then the 80s came, and I thought, oh, this is pretty good. But then when the 90s came, I was like, whoa, what happened? And I was well aware, and my brain had developed by that time because I was like 20, 21.
I fucking wish I was in my 20s in the 90s. That would have been so much fun, dude. Right after the cocaine era, like, you still get to be in the 90s. Like,
I was a teen. I was in my teens.
Yeah.
Young
and
20s.
then the cell phone came out like about 15 years ago, and then everybody just, it was the iMac, it was the iPhone, it was all about self-centeredness.
Absolutely. I agree.
I don't want to talk too much, guys.
No, please do. That's why you're here. You are literally the topic of this podcast, folks, by the way. Because we had no topic planned.
So Wounded Healer is basically just, I've had enough. I don't have gloves on, and I'm ready to just, I had an idea for a scene where I was at Trader Joe's, and I dropped a bag. And this didn't really happen, but it was just an idea. And I broke this wine bottle. And so I was picking it up, and I was like, where's the trash can, So I'll just throw it in the cart. The Trader Joe's people can take care of it. And there was a woman with a mask on. And she's like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm just getting rid of some trash. I don't want to put it in my car. I got to get to work. She's like, well, you can't leave trash. The planet, is in. I'm like, well, what am I supposed to do? And she's like, I say, ma'am, just let it go, okay? Choose your battles. She says, you called me by the wrong gender. I go by they, them. And I was like, well, you called me by the wrong gender. Oh, well, what is your proper gender? And I said, fuck and you. When I came up with that idea, I thought, oh, yeah, this is not a kid's show anymore.
Yeah. Definitely not. I like the adult version, for sure. Yeah. So the name of it, say it one more time, is?
Yeah, Wounded Healer.
Wounded Healer. So for the audience, that's what he's filming for right now, is right. You're trying to get enough content to basically have your proposal for a TV show.
Well, it's going to be season 1, and I met Wayne, and I've got Mercy, who plays by Amber, and there's a younger character named Peter who plays Asa. I've got the robot voice, which is Austin, played by Ed, and Brandon. So it really came together, and I feel like when things come together, there's a reason.
Absolutely, I agree.
Look at us right now.
I agree. Well, I'm all about law of attraction and things of that nature. Sure. For sure. I mean, like when I was younger, and the majority of my friends they were chaotic, and I always wondered why chaos was always around me.
What were they doing?
Well, we were wild. I mean, what weren't we doing? Is the easier question than what were we doing?
With your friends.
Yeah, it was my group of friends, of course. But you tend to, birds of a feather flock together. You tend to be like your people around you, and they tend to be like you. You feed off each other's energy. But I used to I would always get pulled over by police all the time, and I was like, fucking police harassing me constantly harassing me. When I got out of that mind state and shed those people in my life, things like that, well, I've never had a problem with the police again since. I don't get pulled over anymore. Hell, I haven't been pulled over in 20-some years. It went from getting pulled over 3 or 4 times a week to never getting pulled over again because I shed that. So that energy, we're all about energy. The energy you put out is what you're going to retrieve. You're going to attract that for sure.
I have to interject, and just to reiterate what he's saying, this guy right here is one of the most hardest working people I've actually ever met. Mm-hmm. And this is why
Thank you, Wayne.
This is the reason why I do this. This is the reason why I do it for you too, because I understand your passion. So I'm like, all right, I can do both, but he's first, because he literally works his fucking ass off.
Thank you.
And it's amazing.
That's what men do.
So exactly,
men-
that's what
men
men
work.
do. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't need any praise for
we're
it.
not-
It's what men do.
Now,
Yeah.
fuck that. You need praise for it. You need to be
We're-
recognized.
and we're not in
They have to be recognized this day. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna,
Well,
as a man, I'm gonna fucking say that we need to be recognized.
I
for
do
what we
appreciate-
fucking do.
And
Right,
we're
well,
not-
yeah, especially this day and age with the whole feminine movement. But go ahead.
we're not in competition with women, but they're in competition with us. And I'll say this: back in the 30s, men would go out and work. The women would take care of the kids, and that
so
was
beautiful.
the last 3,000, 5,000 years.
Right.
Now you got kids watching internet porn, eating Hot Pockets. The mom's out working, complaining about how she's not the glass ceiling, and the guys are like looking at internet porn pretty much, and they don't even have jobs because the kids are being neglected. So everything flipped like 180,
Yeah, absolutely.
and the pendulum swings back and forth.
Absolutely.
And I want it to swing back to, what
So-
the truth is.
Right, some form of at least sanity. I mean, I have no delusions about it. That or I am incredibly delusional. But I do not think for 1 second that this is not a constructed design in the failure and the collapse of what's going on in our country. I mean, around the world, but specifically for America, because we are supposed to be the beacon for the world. You know, if we fall, the world falls. There's so many people don't understand how many other countries and things that rely on us, not just for our stolen tax money to send over to Ukraine or whatever else they want to do with our money, but we really are the beacon of freedom for the world. And our freedoms have been stolen and jacked from us left and right for the last, well, for a while now, but right out and obvious and in our face for the last 10, 15 years to where it's hard to deny now. Like, you're like, wait a minute, this is not normal. I know that this is the truth because I watched it with my own eyes yesterday, and today the news is telling me that's exactly what didn't happen.
Wait, I have to interject because Kamala Harris has some really great point of view. She won't answer any questions. Don't ask.
She has great point of views. What, looking up at your eyes as she's giving you a blowjob to get a job? Is that her point of view?
No. It was a huge accomplishment for Joe Biden. I'm just saying, and this is something that everyone knows already. Wrong. Don't. So she gave a hug to the guys that got released from Russia. She gave him a big old hug.
Oh, how nice
Yeah,
of her.
These are American civilians, American creatives, okay? And in exchange, we gave them John Wicks.
Right, yeah.
A fucking shit ton of John Wicks, from media to actual hitmen.
Right. Well, not just actual hitmen. Their number one arms dealer. That what was his name? The merchant of death, the man that we traded for Brittany Griner. Are you kidding me? Well, right now we have currently 5 American civilians that are incarcerated in Russia right now. One of them happens to have dual citizenship with Russia and the U.S., which is making her situation even more complicated.
Not Jon Snow, but what's his name?
Edwin?
Edwin Snow.
No. I'm talking about right now, current, today on the news type of events. You know what I mean? That's going on.
I'm not sure about all that, but going back to your point about the beacon of light, I think America used to be.
Used to be.
But I think we're kind of like, was it Babel, the Tower of Babel? I think we are like.
We haven't got there.
And I think when this thing, I'm a Christian.
So am I. Thank you, brother. God bless.
I think when this
Amen.
thing goes down, we are going to burn.
Well, I think we are Babylon. I think Babylon, the Babylon in the Bible that falls is us.
Yeah.
I do believe that for sure. And I think a whole lot of people, got to.
Sorry, I'm not a Christian, but I believe in every deity. And I love that Jesus Christ is hip.
Well,
Hip for
He's
2,000 years.
more than hip.
yeah, he's way more than him.
Son of God.
That's totally
Put it
fine.
this way. You.
Listen, I don't express my religious beliefs very
I
often.
didn't know you had any.
But I am an enthusiast of all the deities that belong. So, I love that Jesus Christ exists. I believe in him. In fact, today, my friend who's a Mormon, she said, "Can I share a Bible verse?" I said, "Absolutely."
Yeah,
I
good.
fucking love that. It's so beautiful. It's so charitable. To have a greater extent of what your spirit and mind is phenomenal. Okay? I'm not a fanatic. I understand that this has happened so many times, thousands of years. I am an old soul. And I am very... Wait for it. Wait. That's my life. I wait for that. I'm okay.
Well, here's the thing with Jesus Christ: you don't have to wait. And on top of the not waiting thing is, I would in friend to friend, I would suggest you don't wait too long, especially with the way that the world is working right now. So, to put things in perspective for you, is I was raised in the church. My grandfather was a preacher for 46 years, right? Church of God in Christ, right? Before he passed away. But for 46 years, my whole life, growing up, he was a preacher up till the day he died. When I got out of high school, when I was able to get to make my own decisions, I rebelled against Christ so hard, bro. It ain't even fucking funny. But I didn't rebel against Christ as in no more Jesus. I don't believe in you anymore. My lifestyle rebelled against Christ 100%. The extreme part and trying to get laid whenever I could. I put God further and further and further and further and further in the back of my mind until I decided I was liberal. Pretty much, where I'm like, well, I mean, I'm being real. I'm being honest. So it took.
There is nothing that you can tell me about Jesus that I don't know. I know all about all the ancient religions.
I'm not trying to tell you about that. I'm trying to tell you about my life right now.
He comes back with a new reformed form because he's already come back 3 fucking times. He's come back as Rama, Krishna, and Jesus Christ. He'll come back again.
What religion are you talking about?
I'm talking about Hindus.
Okay, well, I'm a Christian.
Okay.
He came back once for us and died on the cross for our sins.
It's totally fine. Yeah. I'm just an old.
Let's talk about those Olympics.
Yeah, look how they started. As satanic as it gets.
So
freaking boys beating.
And all of this, I want you to run with that. I'm just going to interject with this right quick. All of this is in the Bible leading up to that. What was up will be down. What was true will be lie, which is what he's about to kick off with, I'm assuming, with this Olympics.
Absolutely.
I love it.
Every truth will be a lie. Every lie will be a truth. And when I watched that, I was like, oh, these people can't help themselves. That's what's so cool about being evil. You only go more evil. When you're good, you only go more good. So as you get older in life and you live, let's say, 85 years, whatever you are at that age, that is the culmination of your whole life. So if you do good and you serve others, you don't even think about it. You just do it. If you're evil, I had a narcissist coworker. This chick was a fucking nightmare.
You told me about
and I mean, it traumatized me because I never knew what a narcissist was. And I remember she was banging all these guys and she was married and her husband was dying of cancer.
Oh,
and I said, do you feel guilt, remorse, shame? And she said, no. And I thought, you're not human.
Right, you're not human.
Yeah. So basically, going back to the thing with the Olympics, you had a mocking of Christianity, of the Last Supper.
Of the Last Supper.
I know. And the most heavy concept where this man comes here to serve, and then he's going to die for our sins, and they sit there and they mock it. Like if they mocked Hinduism or Buddhism or
listen. Don't.
Yeah, they just go after the Christians.
Yeah, and only the Christians are persecuted right now. Not you. Right now.
I love Jesus. You understand?
Well, I can't say that you love Jesus.
I do love Jesus.
I can't say that you don't love Jesus. I'm saying that I think that you might be a little bit misconstrued of Jesus' point here.
I'm sorry. I'm an old soul. Okay? And Jesus Christ is the fucking best thing that's happened to us for a long fucking time. We wrote time for Jesus. We reset it.
We didn't do anything for Jesus.
We reset time for Jesus.
Yeah, he chose.
He did everything for us.
He chooses us, and yeah.
Okay, so there we go to okay.
You're how old are you, Wayne? How old are you? You're a pretty young guy, right?
30. I'm not that young. But I love Jesus.
Right. Well, okay. Which is, first of all, audience, I am not a religious podcast. I do want to I do want to always make my point very clear because I'm never going to hide from who I am and what I believe. I am 1,000%. Don't get it twisted. Cameras, focus on me. I am a Christian, 1,000%. Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. I got no problems with telling you that. Amen. I don't just push that all day, every day. I'm not ashamed to push it all day, every day, but that's not what my channel is about. But just so you know, that is where I stand. That's where I'm always going to stand.
As a pagan person that works with him every day, I love him to death.
And I love this man.
I believe in so many gods, all of them, in fact. And I feel like when you talk about gods, we're talking about deities. And I believe that Jesus Christ is the best deity that has come around in the last 2,000 years. Okay? Until
Have you
something
noticed
happens.
that Joe Rogan, I guess, and Russell Brand,
I don't give a fuck
Jordan
about that.
Peterson,
Yeah, you just named 3 of my favorite.
all these people are going Christian.
Yeah. The people
They're
that
like grown men. Like,
No, I get it. Whatever
Like, you know, about 7 weeks.
I love that you brought that up. By the
Yeah.
way.
About
I love the fact that we're doing this.
About 7 weeks ago, my grandson died.
Oh, I'm very
I
sorry to
know.
hear. I'm just about to be a grandfather in a few
Yeah.
weeks.
Well, great.
I'm so fucking excited for that.
Thank
And
you.
so, my daughter calls me up. She's like, "I don't feel the baby moving." I'm like, "Oh, shit. I know too much about medicine."
Right.
But you know, I touched the little guy because he came out dead. But I know he's alive with God.
Absolutely.
And his little hand was on my finger. I touched his cheek. And I thought, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Nothing could be such a loss for my daughter. And I love my 3 daughters. They're full-grown adults now.
That's what I have is 3 daughters.
Yeah. And I love women, but men and women are different. And I just thought, well, I'll have to wait. And hopefully I get like 20, 30, 40 years on this realm, this fallen world, before I get to go play with Adam. And what a name they picked.
Huh.
And you know, God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
That's right.
So, you know, I was like, my daughter was so brave. And here I am, 51, and I'm like, oh, this is terrible. But we got through it. And the only reason is because of God.
Absolutely.
And Jesus. And, you know, as I was driving over here, I was thinking, if anything happens to me and I die, it's God's will. And I don't have a fear like I used to when I was younger without God or Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're talking about wounded healer. I'm kind of going off, but
Shit. Yeah.
but
Well,
but I mean,
No,
I mean,
no, it's
Christianity,
okay.
it's all about God, and I don't think God wanted.
I believe in God.
Yeah.
All his
Yeah.
other deities are fine.
Well, I
I
don't
believe in Jesus is God.
I don't think-
just believe God is.
But I don't think
I'm
God
not worried
wanted.
about death.
Yeah, but I don't think God wanted his people to like, oh, I have the wrong sex. You got it wrong, God. And then,
No,
Right.
what are you talking
and then
about?
manipulate what He created.
Well, that's a direct mockery to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if you believe in our entire structure of Christ,
No, no,
God,
I believe in
God
the
is
structure.
anybody.
Don't
God
get
is
me wrong.
anybody may picture God. All right. So let's just say this, like he just said, spinning off of what he just said. It's such a valid point, and it just makes so much sense. I mean, argument closed. Whoever the creator is, if you don't believe in God,
God,
you know who my creator is. But whoever it is that may be listening to this, whoever your creator is, you
It's the
have to
same
be.
creator you have.
You have to be. I know that. You have to be thinking that your creator made mistakes for you to think that sexes can be changed and that you were born in the wrong body or this or that or the other. You, by default, you are saying that your creator
He
isn't
made-
perfect.
He make us see that it doesn't fucking. So he made all this bullshit to realize that we need to procreate. We have to procreate.
You cannot
We
procreate
stop-
if you're
we
changing
stop-
your gender,
we
my
stop
friend.
Procreating, bud. How many? You have 3 kids. You have 3 kids. I have no kids.
I have 4 kids. I have 3 girls.
Okay, I'm just saying, but a lot of people don't. Russia just put in a stipulant. You need to make 6 fucking kids. Okay? Because all of this bullshit America's pushing that you can be whatever the gay blah blah blah. We need to make kids.
Well, that's the point. That's the point that him and I are bringing to the table.
I'm still there.
Is that things are upside down. You're taking away from life instead of
I'm
creating
not
life.
saying-
Not you. I'm not
Alright.
talking about you. Hypothetically
Well,
speaking,
I'm
whoever.
saying him and-
We need-
I'm on the same
yeah, we
boat.
need-
It's just the religion
we
is
need
different.
men and
I
women.
still believe in the same shit
Yeah,
we're doing.
we need men and women to get married
Absolutely.
and to raise a kid and not the sins, adultery, stealing, cheating, lying. That's why the world is so messed up. If people are like, I'm not a vaccine like anti. I'm a
Right,
skeptic.
right, absolutely.
I'm a skeptic. And when you tell
Shut up.
pregnant
We're
women,
both. Have you taken the vaccine?
No, never would.
Yeah.
But I'm not anti. I'm anti the most current vac because I've been around long enough to know about the Tahiti experiment. I've been around enough to know that that I was raised poor, so I never got vaccinations for anything, and I've never been sick. You know what I'm saying? I don't get sick to this day. I might have a day where I don't feel good, but I don't get sick. That's because my body is relying on God doing what God's creation is supposed to do. I don't need, even before I got back, before I found my faith again. You know, it's been several years, been back in it, but it gets more, my faith, it builds up more and more daily.
Never lost your faith.
No, that's what I'm saying. I never lost it, but bringing it back to the forefront of my life, because I definitely put it on a back burner for a long time.
You're like the sheep that ran off, and then God's like, hello.
Yeah, hello, hey, I'm not done with you yet.
And you're like, hey, I screwed up, bro.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right. But now you got these tofu eating Homer Simpson and these women that, why are they not protesting for their sports? Some dudes in the Olympics beating on women,
right?
And these women,
so fucked up. Dude.
These women are not saying no. We're not going to do this. Get a translate.
He literally knocked out a chick. She cried and then said, "I support."
Well, the whole thing with this trans movement is you have women fighting for the rights of non-women to do things like beat up women.
I know.
And be in their dressing rooms and take their swimming records away from them and their track records. It's insane. It's literally crazy.
And then Saxx and Jonathan are just gonna punch me in the face, and I'm gonna say, "I'm a woman. Hear me roar."
No, it's
so stupid.
But the whole point of that is just that the society today, not just in America but across the globe. Actually, you know, I'll probably get my show canceled off of YouTube for saying this, but
I'm good. Right
now, the only country that seems to have a leader, because right now, you know, Trump's not our leader. He might be the leader per se, but he's not our president. But right now, the only country that I see that has a real Christian-based leader is the one country that we're supposed to hate, that we was raised to hate, which is Russia. Vladimir Putin happens to be one of the most Christian, at least publicly Christian. Now, what he really is when the doors are closed and the windows are down, I don't know. I'm not there. But his mission or his voice to the world, what he's saying all the time. Now, who somebody is and what they say can be two completely different things. But at least he's pushing all the Christianity stuff out there, which you would be like, wait a minute, Russia pushing Christianity? What? That's backwards. But the thing is propaganda. All the media companies, everything's owned by like three major umbrellas that own all of it, from our theater to the media to the news to everything. It's all propagandized. I mean, it's all narrative push driven, which is why Trump never fit in, because he never went with the narrative. And oh no, you got somebody in here that's not going with the flow.
Well, let's talk about Trump, because he got basically his ear shot, 3 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
And
they're on our podcast.
Yeah, I thought, whoa. Yeah, I thought
we already covered that.
This is like, you know, and then I'm talking about Homer Simpson. The Simpsons predicted this. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I know. Well, not just Homer Simpson. Did you see the human being that predicted this? Like,
grab me a beer too.
The gentleman that predicted this, like, I guess about 4 months before it happened.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I'll show you the video. But he was real descriptive. He was like,
that.
I see the Christian man.
He said he doesn't die.
He grabs his ear, falls down, and finds Christ.
I was watching that, and I thought, I don't want to hear this. And I just didn't want to hear it. But then it happened, and I was like, oh, yeah, that did happen. So, again, just like when the angels came, because Jesus was born and that King Herod, right, killed all the 5
right,
down.
Right.
And then the 3 wise men, which were actually astrologers, they just decided, hey, we'll just go and spread away. We won't go back and tell the king, the newborn. And they came to him in a dream, the angels. And you know what's cool about angels is they're not even as good as a human, which I was reading about that in the Bible about 2 weeks ago. And I knew about it, but I forgot. But angels are in awe of humans, and we actually can judge angels. They're servants to God. So when you get
we have
dream,
free will.
yes,
Angels do not have that.
And right. And then like a third of the angels went with Satan and they left God.
Right.
And you know, talking about Wounded Healer coming back.
But that's back. Which Wounded Healer is the show that he's producing.
Plays a Christian in the show, and I'm proud to be a Christian.
Absolutely,
I'm not embarrassed.
Absolutely, not at all.
And you don't see that in Hollywood. You don't see that in movies. You see Iron Man.
I think we have 3 Hollywood people that to this day, current day, that stand up and will speak about Christianity, and they've been Mel Gibson, black guy, what's the name? He does all the voiceovers. Morgan Freeman, and then one other one that's very, gosh, dog it, it's eluding me right now. But that's it. Like those three people are the only ones that will come and look. They're also a little bit older than us, you and I. So the ones that were still raised right, but all these other, they do everything they can to mock Christianity. You want to double check that camera real quick since you beat on it? I'm gonna step out. I'm gonna let this gentleman talk real quick. Just keep talking. I'm gonna step and use the restroom real quick, and I'll be right back. But you two keep talking.
So
We got that camera.
I'm grateful to have Wayne. I like his attitude. I don't like his paganism that much. but I still love him.
Me neither.
And he'll come around.
That's fine.
Yeah, and
That is fine.
And he'll.
You don't understand what that actually means, and I hope you do one day.
To be a pagan.
Okay, whatever you feel like that word means, that's fine.
How I see it is you've got the creator of the universe, and as I was driving over here today, I was thinking, wow, this is a complicated world, and every little detail, every little molecule, dust particle, God created. And I'm driving here and I'm thinking, I can't believe that I'm actually alive in this realm and that we live. And then I'm thinking, well, what is my job to do? And it's to serve God and to love his children. Yeah. And I was thinking about how people, when they wrong me, and I think, well, I should just totally diss this person. But then I was thinking, well, wait a minute. God creates negativity and positivity. And it's like a rock being shifted. It's falling, and the rough edges are being smoothed off. And I shouldn't have hatred toward my enemies. And this one woman wronged me, and she talked bad about my business. And my acupuncturist buddy was kind of alarmed. And I thought, this person's really sick. And wouldn't it be great if this person wasn't all in this sin and this evil? And so going back to Wounded Healer, it is, my character plays a Christian, and I'm not judgmental. I'm not supposed to be. But ultimately, at the end, we do get judged by God. And on Wounded Healer, I'm working in acupuncture, which is basically taking small needles and manipulating people's chi. Just like somebody would do if you readjusted and move that monitor over there, right? You're going to shift the room, the energy. So I put needles in, kind of like an on-ramp to a freeway, and it's all blocked, and there's a dump truck turned on its side, and there's stagnation, and all the...
Wait, so acupuncture's been around for thousands of years.
Yes, 5,000 years.
5,000 years. Okay, before Jesus Christ.
Well, right. It was before, It was back in the day of Noah. Yeah.
I believe in God.
Yeah.
I just want to reinstate that because whatever they're trying to spin on me, nah.
Right.
I'm just saying, I believe in all the deities. Jesus Christ is the best deity right now.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay? So.
That's cool.
Do not spin this on me.
Thank you.
Do not spin this on me.
No, I'm not spinning it.
You were trying to spin
and
something.
as long as you...
and I'm an old soul. I will not take
I don't know what that means. I feel like we're all just...
I've died and come back and died. I hear that.
I hear that.
I've never been to heaven. I don't believe in hell.
Well, in the medicine that I'm in, I get some weird classmates and some weird practitioners, and they tell me stuff, and I'm thinking, wow, why do you always come back as an ancient Egyptian queen? Can't you come back as a Walmart employee?
Right. What makes you think your previous life was so good?
Yeah, right.
I've come back as
well, trust
trash,
me. Trust me. The way I am, my sin nature,
everyone
I would come
wants
back.
to ascend. I stay in the. I stay here.
I would come back as a snail.
I see everything. It's fine.
Yeah, and as I
I'm
get older,
okay with that.
Yeah,
you guys are not, and I'm like.
Well,
fine.
The thing is with our belief, it doesn't matter what I'm okay with and what I'm not okay with. That's the thing. It's not up to me to be.
God is God. I believe in God. The one that
you keep going back to what your opinion is. I'm telling you my belief. I clearly understand your belief. I'm saying with me,
yours is biblical. You can read it.
Yeah,
I understand your belief.
Yeah. But
read it.
Well, you can understand the religion. You don't know what my belief is because I ain't told you all of it.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is reincarnation, this and that and the other. Now, I believe in the possibility of all these other things? Of course. And the reason why I believe in the possibility of all these other things is because the simple fact is, as a human being, as a man, I don't know because I haven't died. I haven't came back to tell y'all what it's like 2 years after being dead. I don't know. So what I can prove, I can't prove with paperwork, but I can prove with how loving the Lord benefits in my life and has every time I do. And every time I turn my back on that, my life goes down. That's a fact. Yeah. All right. And my Lord, my Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior. All right.
Yes.
So every time I turn my back slightly on him, and I have a whole lot, you know what I mean? That's when the worst of me comes out, and that's when the worst of my life comes to play. What kind of weird ringtone you got? You one of those non-believing in God people ringtones.
Hey Amber, it's Wayne. I'm on a podcast with Jonathan and my boy Saxx.
Oh, hi.
Hi. What's going on?
I just saw that you called, but if you're in a...
Did I literally call you?
I saw you I missed a call from you at 12:47.
Okay.
See, women are precise. 12:47, not 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes.
Anyways, so I'm with Jonathan right now. We're going to meet tomorrow at Buc-ee's. Who else is coming?
Is that somebody else that's in the film? Is that who that is?
Yeah, she's an actress.
So, yeah, she's...
Hi, Amber. Nice to not meet you.
Amber, you're on a live. Is this live? No, it's gonna.
It's not live. I like to edit.
So, yeah, Amber she does amazing modalities.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, wounded healer.
Oh, so she is actually part of what's going on.
She's going to be the protagonist of the...
So we are in the middle of a podcast, yes, while you call. So that's actually great because it goes in with the topic of the podcast. She's one. So apparently the woman that just called this phone that y'all are listening to is also one of the actresses, I'm assuming, on this film that Jonathan is shooting. So yeah, put the phone closer to the mic where we can hear her talk as she talks. You probably have to say something to her for her to respond to.
So, how are you doing? Actually, can I give you the phone to Jonathan? I'm sure Jonathan has more questions.
Well, I don't know if she wants to be a part of this podcast, but
ask her.
Well, if she doesn't, I'll edit it out. But I would like it because this is really cool because it's part of what we're talking about.
Do you want to talk about Wounded Healer real fast?
Yeah, sure. I could do that.
Everyone,
hey, you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, tell us what your part is and what you do and what your role is in the film that y'all are shooting.
My name is Amber Dalton, and I play Mercy. Mercy is an acupuncturist and also doing other healing holistic modalities. She just got kind of transplanted. She lost her,
mentor.
I'm on the spot now.
Yeah, you're sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
She lost her mentor of working for over 25 years, and so she's learning how to trust a whole new group. And because of her personal life, that she's kind of endured so many trials and chaos, because she is a beautiful, genuine, kind-hearted woman, and in life it takes her through all these pushes and pulls, but she's strong. She fights back. She doesn't.
Nice.
She's also a Texas woman. She
nice.
doesn't put up with any bullshit.
Tell that story about the 9mm under all the acupuncture tables.
You said 9mm under acupuncture needles? Oh, I got to hear this story.
There is a gun under each working table, because Mercy had men come onto her, even women come onto her, and when she's in a situation where she's fighting for her life, she will grab that gun and put it on the head and say, with or without the laser, because I don't need it from where I'm standing.
I love that line. Did you write that line?
I did. I actually used that in a personal experience that I had. I'm a naturopath doctor and also a sound bath practitioner.
She's
I'm an
fucking
author.
awesome,
I've
dude.
just rolled out all my poetry on Amazon. And I have an autobiography that I write, just a story
Zach,
of my
stop
life.
falling in love with Amber.
Man, was my eyes telling it like that?
Yeah, I've been reading your poetry book,
Damn.
and it is very good. It's very.
Oh,
good.
God, that's what she looked like. She's
And
amazing.
She's a mother of 2. I don't know if that's inappropriate to say. She
Yes,
is a
no,
real.
mother
a
to
real
teenage
woman.
boys.
Well, that's awesome. That's amazing. So, wow. I mean, just the way you got put on this. She's responded to me. I'm assuming she can hear me.
Say that again?
You can hear Saxx, right?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, I'm assuming by the way that you was so amazing at just being put on the spot right out the gate on a phone call to see what time y'all needed to meet tomorrow, and now you're full blown in the middle of this podcast. Obviously, your personality is amazing, and you're quick on the fly. One of these days, I would like to have you on the podcast as well. The topic can be just acupuncture type stuff or whatever your field is, and bring Jonathan back as well, obviously, for that. But would that be something that maybe in the future you might be interested in doing? It's usually about an hour to 2 hour long. We just sit around and we talk. We really have no main goal to it. It's an uncensored situation. We sit, we talk, and then I spend the next few days editing. And I will always have you view, whoever's in the podcast always gets a chance to view the podcast before I make it public to make sure that you didn't accidentally say something in the podcast you didn't want out there or anything like that. I never just run with any materials. But would that be something that possibly maybe you'd be interested in, shooting a podcast?
Wonderful. Yes, with that being said about the editing part, yes. I'd be happy to, especially with Jonathan. I would love to sit down with him to even just talk about The Wounded Healer. It's an amazing story, and it's just to give power back to the people again.
Wonderful. I love it.
It's very empowering to women and men, and to be our true self. And I wrote that song called Nature's Way, and I actually put some of your poetry to lyric or to music with AI, so that'll be in the show. And yeah, it's going to be hot tomorrow, so I'll give you back to Wayne, but we're on and we're going to film, and it's going to be super hot in Texas.
And what was her name again?
Amber.
Amber, thank you so much. Oh, I'll just take the phone. All right, I actually have the phone to my head now. Thank you so much for taking the time and talking, being really cool about that. My name is Saxx Williams, by the way. I've been friends with Wayne for years, and I was introduced to Jonathan this evening during this podcast, but that gentleman and I have a whole lot in common. He's an amazing, amazing man. I'm loving hearing about what y'all are filming and the story behind that, which is the topic of our podcast today. So when you called talking about that, it just was relevant, and I thought it would be pretty cool to put that in. But anyway, very nice talking to you. I'm going to pass the phone back to Wayne, and maybe we can set something up for a future podcast.
Absolutely a pleasure randomly calling y'all.
Wonderful.
Hey Amber, it's Wayne. Listen, you don't have to be on the podcast, but there's something that I found fascinating.
Yes.
And do you know what it is?
What is that?
It's the light in Saxx's eye.
Hey, whoa, you ain't got to put me out there on Front Street like that.
So gorgeous.
I don't know what she looks like, bro. I've never seen her.
Yeah.
Her personality was awesome. I was stuck on that.
Well, it's all
I'm
over.
trying to make you blush.
You're making me blush, and I'm half black. I'm not supposed to blush.
Blush.
Well, you gotta
Obviously.
tune into Wounded Healer to see. And again, the whole cast is attractive. Peter, Dr. Zoggin looks like a Jim Morrison character, and then he does. He's a good-looking guy. But yeah, the show should be out probably this fall.
Tomorrow, right?
So how long have you been shooting?
Not too long, about 3 weeks.
Oh, wow. Oh, so you've been on it.
I was on it for a couple years prior.
Sorry, say that.
Writing script and everything?
Yeah, well, they just kind of come to me, but it just kind of all came together.
Yeah, right.
And we're doing it more like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I appreciate
Oh,
you.
which I like that. I
We
like that
basically
style,
say,
yeah.
Okay, this is the concept. And
Run with it. Yeah, improv it out.
Yeah, because if you write a bunch of like lyrics or lines, the people have to memorize them, and it's kind of
Right. Well, yeah. If you give people the premise or the basis of a particular scene, and you let them run with it, and if they have just a fraction of wit it to them,
Yeah.
it's always going to be better because it's more natural. It's what would more likely really happen,
Right.
So
Yeah.
I like that. I like that
Again,
style.
We're on a really low budget. We're basically no budget.
Right.
And I'm actually just acquiring the camera. I'm buying a Sony AX43, which is a 4K camera, and it's still on order. And then I bought a computer, and I have to say my daughter, she's really a cool lady. She's cool, my daughter. But she set me up with this 2 terabyte, and we were having trouble with that camera. The cameras you guys are using on this podcast
Black
are like
Magics.
6Ks.
Yeah.
And an hour and a half of footage was like 640 gigabytes, which is insane.
That's insane, right?
Yeah, I mean most terabyte, 100. Was it a million gigs?
A million
terabyte?
gigs per terabyte or
Yeah.
something like that, right?
So when I'm used to 15 years ago when you could film 30 hours in like 300 gigs, and now it's like basically half hour of video. So
Right, you've sucked up all that already. Well, I mean, they're outrageous.
yeah, this podcast is probably what 1.25 terabytes.
I
Well,
think right
times
now-
2, because I gotta bounce back and forth between cuts.
What
between
kind of computer are you running here?
So I'm just a Windows guy. So this two computers. This is just one computer and the monitor for this, and then this for my laptop, which is in my backpack somewhere. Oh, which I left in my restaurant. I probably should have grabbed that before I left, but it's behind my counter. It's in my office. Nobody's gonna steal it. I'll go get it later. But yeah. So, like you, it's all on a budget or no budget. I work 70, 80 hours in my restaurant, and I put in about 40, 50 hours a week in here because the podcast we just started up about a month and a half ago that's on my channel, which my channel is Saxx Says, which is my name, Saxx. So Saxx Says. Basically, the reason why I named my channel Saxx Says is because it's whatever I say it's going to be. It's my channel. But so I have 3 different series on the same channel. So one series is Saxx's Top 20 Picks of the Day. And what that is I pick my favorite 20 video clips, short clips of the day, and I just react to them. Whatever it is, random stuff, whether it's creepy stuff or whether it's about God or whether it's about an eagle flying down trying to snatch up a little kid and take off in the sky. I react to all kind of
When
stuff.
Trump got shot in the ear, was that?
I reacted to that, absolutely. Actually, we were in the middle of shooting a podcast, and I put off editing the podcast for a week because that took precedence over editing the podcast.
Can we talk about that shooter that's like a 20-year-old? Did you buy that story?
No, not at all. Well, I mean, I don't. He was definitely there, but do I buy the fact that he was First of all, do I buy the fact that he could walk 100, 200 yards with a ladder on his arm and a rifle on the other arm to get on top of this building without nobody seeing him? No, I don't buy that for a second. But no, the water tower was unsecured. So the first 2 places you would have secured, if you were really trying to protect somebody, would have been a flat
And
roof.
that Secret Service lady for 3 days going to Aspen, not even investigating the.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
she needs to be executed.
Absolutely,
I'm just
I
gonna
agree.
Call it out.
Well, because you were the main one for the person to be executed. Essentially, you should take
in the
the
olden days. If something happened to the king, you got your head chopped.
Mm-hmm.
And then she sits there all smirky and doesn't answer the questions. And I noticed that.
Well, and they had to subpoena her in the first place to even come and talk about it.
Yeah, and then she's, I have it. I'll get back to you. You can do an investigation in a couple days.
Do you have a letter on you? I gotta make a phone call.
I do. Go do your thing.
I love this shit.
I like Jonathan way more than you, so go out there. Don't worry about coming back anytime soon.
Are you
We're
fucking
busy.
serious?
I'm kidding, bro. I do really love this guy. I like this gentleman. Yeah,
It's the Christian
Yeah,
energy.
exactly. It's that is the Christian
It
energy.
overrides everything.
It is definitely the Christian
I
energy.
will give you hugs and I will bless you. I love you.
Hugs are nice.
Hugs are nice.
But the Holy Spirit, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Well, it's a lifelong
The
hug.
thing about Christianity, to be honest with you, is that Holy Spirit.
Huh?
Because that's constant. That's
Absolutely.
everything. No matter what you call God or whatever, that Holy Spirit's always there.
Yeah, but that comes through God in Jesus
God,
Christ. That's what the Holy Spirit is. You can't like half of it, and not the other half
I'm
of it.
just saying that you
Well,
believe in
did you
Jesus
see-
is
did you
great.
see-
He's a great guy. I believe in Jesus. I believe that he's been done before, over and over again, and then there will be a new Jesus. It's fine.
Who's
That's
that
what
guy?
happens.
Tate Tate. He's
Andrew
like
Tate.
Yeah, he was talking about the Olympics, and he was like, I don't think he's like a diehard Christian, but I think
No. I think he's kind of like along that Joe Rogan
I don't believe that God exists and that God chooses his
I
heroes.
absolutely believe that God exists, but I believe that God is one entity, which God is too powerful for us to ever witness, which is why he had himself come in living form as Jesus Christ to.
And that's the hottest fucking thing we've had in 2,000 years.
It's not a trend. This is not YouTube. It's not TikTok. God is not a trend. He is the Alpha and the Omega. Period.
Hey,
Whatever you want to call God's there.
Can you walk on water?
Did you see God?
Can you take this water and make it wine? Like,
Can you break bread?
There was this chick, and she's like, I feel like I'm godlike. And I said, oh, that's cool. I said,
I would never say.
I said, why don't you?
That's good. I'm thirsty. Turn this to wine.
We're all slaves to whatever the fuck we were created.
No, go ahead, Jonathan.
So I said, take that house and just levitate it 50 feet over, because God can do that, right? Can you do that? And she's like, no. I'm like, do you feel godlike?
I believe in God. Do not.
Yeah.
I will stress. I always believe in God. Whatever you want to call your God, fine. I believe in it. It's been called God for
Well, you know,
so many different things.
about 180 evolutionary.
But you're trying to convince yourself right now, and not us. Do you see how hard you're working at your at your point? You.
That's so romantic. I love you.
I love you too, and I'm always gonna love you.
But you know, 180 evolutionist theory, whatever, I don't know what you call them, doctors, got together and they said, you know what, we can't prove evolution because they actually researched
evolution doesn't exist.
No, dude. I know. And you know what's so sad is like the fossil theory.
Right.
Like
well, fossil fuels for one, please. That's not a bunch of dinosaur bones we're running our cars on.
Oil is a byproduct of the planet.
I'm just saying, I'm on the same
absolutely.
with you guys.
So,
I love you guys.
So like, fossil theory.
I'm not trying to prove anything.
Let's let him tell a story. Don't even worry about stepping out and making your call yet, because he's got to go shortly. So let's take about 5 more minutes and we'll wrap this up. But let's let him talk, and then we'll end the podcast. Yeah.
Fossil theory came out in the 1870s. There was basically some guys in England, and they said, "Oh wow, we have a mastodon, like an elephant," and they put it up at this museum, and people were lined up like Spider-Man. You know, it's like,
this is called the fossil theory.
Yeah. So they came up with this idea that, we got all these fossils and we need more of them to get more people in. So about 70 different fossils were sort of presented. Now, where were these fossils coming from for the last 2,000 years? Were people not finding them until 1870 when there was like money to be made?
Right.
It's like when Die Hard came out, all of a sudden all these action films start coming out.
Right.
Nobody knew about this prior. So you basically get evolution theory, and carbon-14 test dating only came out in 1949. Because of the way carbon-14 is, every half-life, you get down to, after 57,600 years, I believe, you don't have enough carbon-14 to test for it. So you can't go past...
You can't carbon date past that.
Yeah, right. And so it's not even accurate. And I remember I went to the, what was that thing in Los Angeles? The La Brea tar pits. And I said, are these real fossils? And she's like, no, these are castings. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I saw that you had all these wolves. There's like 100 wolves, all with different... I could see the differences in their skulls and their bone structures. But I said, these like stegosauruses and these T-Rexes that you have, these are really just castings, right? And she says, yes. And I say, well, have you ever touched the real thing? And she says, no. And I say, so you're basically been lied to with your,
and you're pushing that.
Yeah, and you're promoting something that's not even true. Could these just be fake castings? Because I could cast out a T-Rex.
Right.
And it would be a copy of the original. And that's what I don't like. I want the original.
The original. If it's not the original, and we don't have the technology to date it to its actual time.
Yeah.
Well, and that baffles me all the time when they're like, the oldest mummy ever to exist until next week. Oh, the oldest mummy the oldest bone.
You're going to contradict your own Christian belief about 6,000 years. It's way beyond.
6,000. I'm just talking about fossils. I didn't talk about how long my belief existed, or how long
the pyramids and the infrastructure
you know what?
Stuff is way beyond.
Maybe
that's beyond BC. That's before Christ.
How about this theory? Maybe
before Christ.
Maybe
God.
Before Christ. God's other champions.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Maybe.
God.
Exactly.
Right. No. But.
So I'm wrong.
but you're taking it. But
No,
what?
I'm not taking it.
Yes,
Wait.
yes. What I'm saying is,
believe in
okay. So
God.
God
I believe
is
in
the.
Jesus.
All right.
I
So
believe in Jesus because he's
So, okay,
the newest
so
champion
clearly you
that
don't-
God has created to tell us what's going on. There's been so many other champions beyond.
okay. So well, even beyond that, you got the Nephilim beyond Jesus Christ's time. So those demons or they just fallen angels
False
or
gods
what?
that fucked other champions of God.
But they can't be gods themselves. But why can't they be? If your stance on it is one thing or the other, then the Nephilim will be God too, right?
You know what? If I saw a Nephilim come up to me and kill my rival and gave me food and shelter and built me a home, I would say that he is a godlike being.
I
would
say
worship him. I would actually sacrifice a goddamn animal for him. If he asked me to.
I would say you have like a president.
But I mean, Jesus doesn't do that. Jesus stopped us to do that. He said, "Fucking."
Well, his whole purpose was for love and forgiveness.
Well, God said, "Oh God damn it, I fucking fucked up.
All these.
I made all these fucking beings that fucking I had to cleanse the fucking world once, and a few of them fucking existed."
And what was
still.
the symbol that they did? What was God's symbol? I won't flood you out again. It was the rainbow.
Right. He said the whole purpose of the rainbow was to say, I will never flood you out again, which to me, the rainbow is a reflection of what's in the Bible, the God's firmament above the earth, which is what would make sense of a rainbow making a rainbow shape in the first place, and a reflection of the waters above and waters below. The prism would create a rainbow.
Ask yourself, in 1972, 70, New York, the hotel, the gay people took the rainbow as their symbol, where they defied the police. Now, I'm not down on gay people, but God doesn't want us. Like I said, Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
We want to create. We are creators.
Yeah. If you take 100 men to an island, 50% of them transgender, and you leave them for 100 years, there's going to be 100 male skeletons.
Yeah, there will be no new birth.
But if you come back with another island and you have 50 women and 50 men, you come back 100 years.
You got 100,000, 500,000. You got to thrive in society. Absolutely.
So.
No. Like I said, I am not discrediting anything.
No.
I'm just saying that we're 2,000 years old. Okay, if you think we're only 6,000 years old, you're wrong.
Wait. You literally just said we're 2,000 years old. So if you think we're only 6,000.
No, well, I mean, look at the Bible. If you think we're only 6,000 years old, you're wrong.
I never said we're only 6,000.
don't care
Where are you
about
getting
that.
that from? I didn't say that. So
Who
don't.
says that?
Says that man is only 6,000 years old, or the beginning of Christ as far as record keeping.
I think very differently. I think very ancient.
And guess what? I don't care. I love you just the same. Because guess what?
This is
I came in the world by myself. I'm leaving the world by myself. So I'm going to love those around me just the same. And I'm going to, whether I agree with your opinions or not, doesn't mean diddly squat. It's all on me. How am I going to perceive the guy that cuts me off at the red light? Do I want to pull out my middle finger and say, fuck you, and that escalate into something? Or do I want to let the guy that cut me off the red light piss me off, but instead of saying, fuck you, I say,
well, that's stoicism. That
wait,
has to do with-
it has everything to do with everything. It's my point is, we don't have to agree on the same thing. My whole basis of my being is to love. All right? It's to love. Now, I don't have to. It's all about energy. I'm not taking on other people's negative energy. I don't need to. Why would I do that?
Am I giving negative energy?
No, fuck no. I love you, dude. What are you talking about? But now you're taking shit personal. See, these weird people take everything personal. This is a hypothetical situation.
People?
I'm saying hypothetical.
I'm a fucking Democrat now, and I feel like I'm transitioning into.
Well, they are watching you on this podcast, and everything you got almost matches their girlfriend's wardrobe. So, no, I'm just kidding.
It goes back. It goes back to
I don't know.
phytoestrogens. It's in the water. Remember Alex Jones?
Yeah, I love Alex. I've met Alex Jones.
So you have phytoestrogens, and you get feminized.
Right, the frogs go gay. The frogs are gay.
Remember my song, another country song?
Oh! I want you to play that before. We've got 7 minutes till we wrap up. So whenever you're done saying what you're saying, I want you to play that because you got ready to start playing it. Now, who's singing that? Is that AI singing that?
He makes AI.
So the country song was written by AI and it's being sung by AI?
Yeah,
Let him explain that.
So I wrote the
I
lyrics
have
to
to
this
take
song on a thing called AI Sing, and I threw the lyrics down, and then this is how it played out. I'll play it here.
Another country song about a loser alcoholic who lost a girl and has a drinking problem. Well, my story is not that different. I like Minnie got laid off from the mill. Then my trusty dog died and a bottle became my relief to the grief. Soon I smoking 2 packs a day and not shaving but once a month. The wifey got mad and found that the neighbor liked sex. I was left standing in my long johns on the porch as she away from his Miata. I soon rolled my truck in a ditch and lost a double wide. Now I sit on porch in my mama's house and watch reruns of Hee-Haw. The days are long and lonely and cold as I nurse my 3 6-pack brew. Someday I get back up again, but until then I have another brew and smoke.
So you wrote the lyrics and then you just had AI sing it?
Yeah, and it just
Created the music and sang
I
it?
have another song here called, let's see here, the Ayahuasca Trip. And this has to do with people going down to South America and they trip with these natives.
Right.
But these natives are selling out. This is not supposed to be for the money.
Right.
So this guy, and one of the characters in the show, which we haven't filmed yet, basically is going back to Boise, Idaho, and he feels like he's possessed. So here's this song.
Oh, wow. That's deep, bro.
Ayahuasca South American trip. Oh boy, will you tripping like Alice be 6 feet tall. You will vomit up your breakfast and the toxin will take a hold of your soul. You're in for a trip and a shaman and tribe will always be apart. Once you return to Boise, Idaho, you will never completely return. You have connection that they don't tell you. Your soul will be affected from here on out. Avoid the ayahuasca.
So when I talk about Wounded Healer, I talk a lot about soul fragmentation, and the show's got some heavy concepts, and I'm going full tilt on this thing, and the
Well, you
problem,
should.
Yeah, the only problem
Don't
I'm
hold
having
back,
right
yeah.
now is just getting it out there. So again, people's busy schedules, but I am like laser focused on this project, and as you saw, you had Amber call in today.
Right.
You
Right.
got
right.
Wayne here.
No,
Yeah.
I'm the type of person to tell you, prove me otherwise. I am going to be the type of gentleman that I like to believe in the best in people. Now, I know everybody ain't good, but I always like to see the good in them. But until somebody proves me wrong, I'm not going to start off with the assumption you're lying to me. So when you tell me you do something, I'm going to start off with the assumption that you do what you do. Which, by the way, before I met you, Wayne told me how he met you and what you were doing. So I already knew you was really
Right.
doing film
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And then the call obviously helped validate it. But I wasn't not believing it
Oh,
before
yeah.
the phone call.
And again, it's like a lot in the world. I like talk about stuff, and sometimes it's unrealistic. But this show is actually totally dialed in. I've got the robot repair shop in my garage I built. I've got the robots built. I've got the actors, and I would tell people out there, if you're making a show, you have a vision, you got to like work your day job, because
Yeah,
people
Bill's
are,
still
like, starving
coming.
artists.
Yeah.
And you can be creative. And again, in Asian medicine, which is, I think, in Western medicine, there's the 5 pillars of health. So you've got movement, which is also creativity. You don't want to sit stagnant. Lifestyle, diet. That's super important. Emotions.
Right.
And then obviously God. But a lot of people don't have they don't have the lifestyle, they don't have the diet, they don't have the emotions, they don't have God, so they get sick.
Right.
So Wounded Healer is about teaching people about the 5 pillars of health. And a lot of people would drop off God, which is the core.
Right, which is the core.
Yeah.
So you can have the core and not the other four and have better chance of getting the other four because you have the core. But if you have the other four without the core, doesn't matter.
Right.
This isn't a percentage based
Right.
situation. No, I love that. I love that a lot.
I have a friend or
It's a wonderful theory.
Client. I don't know what you call him.
Client turned friend or
Well,
friend
no,
turned client.
I guess what is it called? A colleague.
A colleague.
He's the
Okay.
7 pillars of health. And I'm like, oh, what are those? And he's like, nutraceuticals and all this. I'm like, oh, so stuff you make money on. So you'll have
Right.
an 8th pillar once you figure out something else to sell to people.
Right.
And really, when it comes down to it, it's God, God, and God.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
brother. Hey, you know what? That's a perfect ending for this podcast. God, God, and God. Jonathan, hey, thank you so much for coming in. It was literally, it's touched my heart. I feel a deep connection with you, even though we just met an hour and 15 minutes ago. Brother, I would definitely like to stay in contact. And at the end of this podcast, hopefully you'll be willing to exchange numbers with me because you're an amazing gentleman. And I really like this. And I'm really glad that Wayne, because originally, folks, viewers, the podcast today was going to be 2 different gamers that are real big into gaming. And both of them had to cancel last minute, which was crazy. I've never had anybody cancel in the whole 2 months I've been podcasting. I never had anybody cancel, but it was crazy that not one, but both of them had to cancel, which is fine. You got to do what you got to do. But the amazing thing, God in the background happened to have somebody set up that Wayne wanted to bring in on the day when I had cancellation, so we was still able to shoot the podcast. And this podcast, I love 1,000 times more than it could have possibly been if I'm just sitting here talking about some gaming.
Let's end it on a song I wrote with AI called Johnny's Bed.
Johnny's
This
Bed.
has to do with Amber Heard. Okay?
Johnny's Bet or Johnny's Bed? Bed, okay.
So that's on a funny note, but remember, God, God, God. But
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, we'll end on that. All right.
Love it. So that's just you just chose female for AI voice, and then that's what it gave you, huh?
You know, it's kind of a weird program. When that whole thing happened right after Trump got shot,
Right.
and the internet went down, that was kind of suspicious.
Yeah,
But
extremely.
Basically, my songs on the, I don't know if it's going to come back, but I had some stuff stored. But yeah, I use AI, and I can't make music like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is the purpose of AI. If
It's a tool.
if the user could do what the AI does, they wouldn't need the AI. It's a tool. I can have a nail in my hand and need to put up this drywall, but I ain't gonna be able to do it with my palm.
Right.
I need the hammer.
And it's the creativity from within. And yeah, Wounded Healer. Look, I was going to call it Soul of the Robot. And I feel like a lot of people have been turned into robots. And, all we have is our soul. Remember John Lennon? That one song, he's like, all you take with you is your soul.
Right.
When he got shot, he's like dying with like 6 gunshot wounds to his back. And Yoko's like, oh my gosh. He's like, I'm not ready to die. And going back to God, 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 are you ready to die? Because guaranteed you're going to die. You don't even have to pay taxes in this world.
Right. You're
But you are
gonna
gonna
death
die.
is coming.
And,
That's a
be right
guarantee.
with God, yeah. So.
Well, which is what I was trying to explain to my buddy Wayne there, and your buddy Wayne is, but again, I am not the type of person that pushes hard, which maybe I should be, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, it's really about saving souls. But I'm just not that person yet. I'm not trying to be a preacher. I never said I wanted to be a preacher. None of that. But I also know that my role as a Christian also is that I need to speak the word to people. So I do in this kind of context. I don't push on you. I don't kick you in the head with it. I don't slap you in the face with it. I tell you exactly what I believe and how I feel, and I'll let you run with what you're going to run with. Because I can't even sit here and debate nobody about Bible or anything because I haven't read the whole Bible. So who the hell am I to sit here and try to debate you about the Bible?
Yeah, it's free will, and God gives us the ability, and we come into this world alone, and we die alone.
Absolutely.
And we have free will, and that's the gift. It's the present, and it's the free will. And sometimes I wish I didn't have free will. I wish I was just like a carbon copy clone of God, but I'm not. And that's what He did for us.
Absolutely.
So we can choose good or bad.
Which at the end of that is what life is. That's life. He gives us life, which is why I would assume the angels are jealous of us, is because we have the choice to do what we want and be who we want.
But some of them did decide to follow Satan, right?
Well, absolutely.
So I think it'd be cool to talk with some angels.
Yeah, it'd be pretty damn cool. I agree.
And you know that one guy, who's that one actor? I just say this. He was saying, if you could go back in history and do anything, who would you want to meet? And I think his name is like Paul Rudd. He said, I would go back and see Jesus. And these two people laughed at him. And it's like, wouldn't it be cool to be there sitting, watching Jesus walk on water?
Right.
And to you touch his cloak and you're healed of your illness for 30 years. That's some crazy chi ability.
Yeah.
Trying to put needles and help people and doctors. This guy could his shadow would heal people.
Right. Absolutely. Pretty amazing.
Then when he was going to die that night, or the next morning, I should say, he could have cast off all those people, but yet he got nailed to a cross and dragged it down the street for us. And God came into form as a man to die for our sins.
Amen, brother. Absolutely. Yeah, he took on the full crucifixion of pain and suffering, and look at the two people he had beside him, a murderer and a thief. And the murderer said, I believe in you, Lord. And the thief said, who is this guy? And what did Jesus say to the murderer that said that? You will see the paradise to see. I will bring you to paradise. Yeah. Whatever, I can't quote it verbatim because I don't. Like I said, y'all, I haven't read the whole Bible back and forth, but I've been in church enough to remember that part. I understand the basis of that scripture where he's basically, you're forgiven. You believe in me. You declared yourself to me. You're coming with me. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for being here. That's going to wrap up today's podcast. I'm Saxx, the guest Jonathan. Thank you so much for coming in, and we will have him back on again if he decides he's willing to come back on again because I really loved having his company. So love you guys. We will see you later on the next one. Peace. I'm out.
I'm a country boy, yeah, that's what I love. Got that jacked up 4x4, looking for some mud. Got that hip hop in my blood, so I guess I'm just a country thug.